Okay, I know I can do this. I've rehearsed it, I practiced it, stood in front of the mirror. I know I can do this. Hello everyone, my name is Harry Dans. Oh, wait a minute. Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Dans. Good morning class, I'm Mr. Dans. How are you today? Make sure you smile. Okay, what time is it? Vibrate. Let's see, checked in at the office, I'm outside the right classroom, see the teacher and students. Okay, shirt straight, look good, okay. I'm ready to go do this, let's go.
Public speaking may not be your best skill. It rarely is with most people. Hi, I'm Laura Goodman with Junior Achievement USA. Thank you for being a volunteer for Junior Achievement. You probably have a lot of questions about your upcoming volunteer experience, so I hope we answer those questions in this video. In addition to learning preparation tips and techniques, student engagement strategies, and understanding the workshop model instruction, you'll be able to watch as a volunteer shares learning goals, gauges what the students already know, and presents new information in the JA session. Don't forget that when presenting a JA session, you're talking to students, not CEOs or members of Congress. Here are a few helpful hints as you prepare for your first JA session. Take time to prepare. Reading through the material and making notes of questions you want to ask and professional experiences you want to share will help you feel comfortable with the content and allow you to focus on making connections with the students. Turn in all necessary JA forms, including the Volunteer Conduct Standards. You may have turned them in during training, been instructed to send them to the local JA area office, or you might need to bring them with you to the school. Talk to your JA classroom teacher about the pre- and post-tests that accompany the JA program. Together, you can decide how to administer the tests and how to get them back to your JA area office. When you arrive at the school, you'll need to check in at the front office. JA recommends arriving at least 15 minutes early. When you get to the school, enter through the main entrance. You may have to press an intercom button to gain admittance to the school, and most often, you'll need to show a photo ID. Some schools, especially high schools, may require you to check in with the security desk. Be sure to wear a name tag, especially if the school provides one. Make sure you've brought along your JA kit of materials. Check to make sure your guide for volunteers and teachers is in the kit, along with any notes or ideas you've written down. You'll want to give your classroom teacher the other copy of the Guide for Volunteers and Teachers so they can follow along and plan their lessons accordingly. While it's normal to be nervous, remember that students love visitors. This is a change from their normal routine, and they will be glad to have you, your time, and experience in the classroom. Remember, your classroom teacher is always there to assist you. Ask for their assistance anytime you need it. And smile. If you forget what you were about to say or you lose track of time, take a breath and get back on track. You're volunteering, not interviewing for a job.
All right, class, give me 5. Great. We have a very special visitor today. Does everyone remember me telling you about the volunteers from Junior Achievement who will be coming to our class?
Yes.
Great. Well, our JA volunteer today is Mr. Dans, and he is here to talk to you about Junior Achievement. I want you to give him your full attention. Remember to raise your hand if you have to answer or ask a question. And remember, don't talk to your neighbor. Okay? They're all yours, Mr. Dans.
Great, thank you very much. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, we're having an exciting day talking about Junior Achievement. I'm Mr. Dans, and I'm a volunteer from Junior Achievement. Can anybody, to start off with, can anybody help me with what the definition of volunteer might mean? Let me see. Olivia.
I think if you volunteer, it means you do something without getting paid.
That's exactly right. Great definition. If you're a volunteer, it means you do something without getting paid. And I'm very fortunate because I work for a company here in the city, That's Good HR. We're a recruiting firm, and they allow me to take time away from the office to come spend the day with awesome students like you guys and to talk about junior achievement. So That's Good HR. What do you think the HR might stand for? Any ideas? Yeah, a little confusing. It stands for Human Resources. And what that means is we help people with career placement. Any ideas on what career placement might mean? Olivia again.
Does it mean that you're in charge of business in our town?
That's close. I do work with a lot of people and get to know and meet a lot of different people, but not exactly right. Any other ideas maybe on career placement? Max?
You get to help others find jobs.
That's exactly right. Great answer, Max. We work with organizations and companies in our city and helping them find employees, and we help the employees who are looking for new jobs, working with them and making the match. It's a great job, but I have to tell you, a lot of days it's really difficult.
I really don't know what I want to do with the job yet, but Mr. Dan's job sounds pretty cool.
It's intimidating to a volunteer to come in and lead a group of 25 active students. I know how valuable the junior achievement experience is and how beneficial the information is to my students. I never pass up the opportunity to have JA in my classroom. These volunteers inspire my students, and there's nothing better than that.
30 sets of eyes, all staring at me. I was so nervous, but that all went away pretty quickly. I had to make sure they understood what a recruiting firm was. I hope I did okay, but really, it was a whole lot of fun.
It's never as bad as it seems. Classroom experiences are usually a lot of fun. So remember, set a positive tone. Be friendly, happy, and open to questions. Have fun and smile. It translates directly to the class. Consider the age group of students when sharing your professional title. Some groups may need a little explanation to understand exactly what you do. Remember that your classroom teacher is your partner. Don't hesitate to ask for assistance with setup or support when needed.
All right, class, let's get started. Today's lesson plan is Am I an Entrepreneur? And I'm very excited to be here and talk about this one because actually I am an entrepreneur. So today's lessons plan, we're going to learn about regions that contain resources and how entrepreneurs use those resources to make and sell goods and services that people want and need. Earlier you probably saw me, I wrote up on the board, entrepreneur. As you can see, it's a very long word and a very difficult word to spell. So show me with a sign of thumbs up. How many of you heard the word entrepreneur before? Okay, great, a lot of you. Now, who wants to be brave and try to help me with the definition of entrepreneur? Now that we have discussed and defined these three terms, let's do a project and see how these terms work together. So I'd like everybody to do is pick a partner, and we're going to take about a minute, and I want you to come up with a local, innovative entrepreneur that you can think of. So I want to get the person's name, the company they started, and figure that out together and write it down. I'm going to give you a few minutes, and I'm going to call timeout, and I'm going to call in a few of the groups to talk about and share who the person is and the company that they started. So let's go get started. All right, class, let's give me 5. All right, I need to call on somebody on the group, talk about their local entrepreneur. Let's see. Johnny, you look anxious, and I think you were teamed up with Deshaun. So why don't you two share your local entrepreneur, please?
Well, we talked about Mr. and Mrs. Bell and their farm and orchard. We get to go on field trips, and they give us peaches and apples to eat.
Yeah, and ice cream and a petting zoo. It's awesome.
Well, that sounds really awesome, and that is a great example of a local entrepreneur. Grow, sell fruits and vegetables, flowers. They have a petting zoo, and I bet you guys are really excited about the ice cream part and the other kids' activities. Nice work. Hopefully what you realize from this, that every day there's local entrepreneurs around us providing goods and services that previously you might not have realized. I think we did a great job on this exercise. And in fact, if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to do another exercise around entrepreneurs. And this one will be well-known entrepreneurs, famous entrepreneurs. What do you guys think?
You just observed the introduction portion of the JA session. Each session follows the workshop model instruction, which is a best practice for engaging students in the learning process and achieving great learning outcomes. At its core, the JA session is comprised of 3 parts: an introduction, activity portion, and summary and review. As you can see, demonstrated in this pie chart, the bulk of the time is spent in the activity portion of the session. This is the time when the work of learning is turned over to the students. Although less time is spent on the introduction, it is still a critically important component for a successful learning experience. During the introduction, you'll set the purpose for the session, gauge what the students already know about the concepts, and present new information to the students. During a typical introduction, you'll be in the traditional teacher role, at the front of the room, leading a discussion with the whole class, asking them questions, writing on the board, and explaining new concepts or vocabulary. Keep the students engaged by asking polling questions or having the students participate in paired sharing. Try to take the discussion to a deeper level of thinking by asking open-ended questions instead of yes/no questions. Encourage students to comment or build upon one another's responses.
I made it. That wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. I tried to stay focused on sharing the learning goals for today, but it was also interesting to see what the students already knew. I'm so glad I asked Ms. Waterman about using the Give Me 5 technique to bring the students back together. You know, I know it feels like a lot of work, but volunteering for Junior Achievement is really fun. The materials are organized and easy to follow, and most of all, the students enjoy having an outside role model in their classroom. Taking the time to prepare for your JA session will help you feel confident and comfortable in the classroom. The preparation time wasn't bad either. I spent about 30 minutes going through my guide, taking notes, and highlighting the points I didn't want to miss. I'm so glad I did that. This really is a great way for me to practice my public speaking skills with a non-threatening audience. You can always try practicing with a friend or a family member to help you feel more relaxed about your actual presentation.